What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and I'm very proud to unveil Koma's Nest. This is an all-new kind of special control deck. I know some people won't be happy about the fact that I just said control in there, but hey, if you're trying to play a 7-mana spell, you gotta get to 7 mana and you gotta live to get there. So we have a couple ways to do that, and in combination it is going to be Titan's Nest. This 4-mana card can allow you to get down the Koma as early as turn 5 and, you know, have some extra stuff left over thereafter depending on your mana situation. Anyways, the way this works is Koma costs 7 mana. Yes, it's expensive, but if you'll notice, its actual colored mana is only 2 green and 2 blue. Spell also can't be countered, so you don't really have to worry about playing the whole counter war magic whenever you drop it. Now, you might want to be a little worried about your opponent removing it, but again, you have the serpents to sacrifice and give it indestructibility, so all you really have to worry about is an exile effect. Now, all that being said and out of the way, Titan's Nest, 4-mana enchantment. We saw it come out in Ikoria, and it saw some play in some control decks to do some kind of cool things. But now that we have Koma and this serpent-generating Titan thing, it's really nice. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard. If you want to turn this deck into a reanimation of Koma, by all means you can. You can throw in and make it a snow control, and then you can discard Koma from the top of your library as soon as you see it, and then reanimate it, which is also a very nice, very cheap way of getting Koma down. Is why I say you can get him down as early as turn 5 pretty reliably with this Titan's Nest combo. However, you can also choose to graveyard your other cards, exile a card from your graveyard, add colorless mana. This mana can only be spent to cast spells with 1 or more colors without X in its mana cost. Well, that's fine because Koma checks all those boxes. So essentially, come turn 5, exile 3 cards from your graveyard, pays for 3 of that Koma's mana, then you have 4 mana because obviously you just played Titan's Nest, and you get the Koma down, right? All this being said, it's nice to have the ability to get Koma, but of course you have to survive in order to get there. So surrounding this deck, we have 3 copies of Binding the Old Gods, which is great. Just general destruction of non-land permanents, as it can target anything. Furthermore, you can grab forest out of your graveyard, or out of your library, put them onto the battlefield tap, which is why we are running 4. You might want to run a few more copies, but honestly, just with your Fableds, try to grab your island and your swamp if you can, and then, you know, go from there. Anyways, we also have 2 copies of Enigmatic Incarnation. This is a fantastic card in this deck for a few reasons. One, you can sacrifice your Binding of the Old Gods when it's going to hit that creatures you control gain Death Touch, which is really not that good, and then you can pull out a Gargaroth, which is, well, a 5-mana 6/6 Vigilance Reach Trample that you're essentially trading off for a step counter that you don't even want. So, nice, free, easy. You can also sacrifice your second copy of Enigmatic Incarnations for this, or if you have a second copy of Titan's Nest, again, sacrifice it and you can get the Elder Gargaroth out for the free ski. That being said, we also run 4 copies of In Search of Greatness. So when you grab this Gargaroth out, now you can play a Feasting Troll King or a Shark Typhoon from your hand for free. So it's very nice in that manner as well. And of course, Shark Typhoon and Feasting Troll King are 6, and well, Koma's is 7. So if you didn't get it down on turn 5 with the Titan's Nest combo, if you didn't get it down by, you know, putting it in your graveyard and then reanimating it, if that's the choice you want to go with, then here comes turn whatever, where you have down this big Shark Typhoon Feasting Troll King, and you can just play it for free, and then of course keep all of your mana available for counter magic, destruction, or whatever the heck you please, right? So, bringing us back to In Search of Greatness. Now, having one of these down does not activate this card, so you can't have an In Search of Greatness down just singularly and then play down Midnight Clock for the free ski. You're going to need another 2 CMC, another In Search of Greatness down. But we're not going to be worrying about that. Get down an In Search of Greatness, get down a Midnight Clock if you can, and then that will proc you into the Binding free play, the Enigmatic free play, or the Titan's Nest free play, right? From there, you can just sort of ramp up. We also have 2 copies of Vivian Monster's Advocate. This plays really well with the Koma. Obviously, if you're just going to hard cast it, -2 on the Vivian, then you can get down a Koma. You can also get down a free Feasting Troll King or a free Elder Gargaroth. So it's all about churning out these free early creatures that are just big, have tons of value, and of course, some of them have trample, right? And of course, Koma, you're just creating snakes and attacking in with those. Anyways, all that being said, we have a nice line of play from the end search all the way up to Coma. It's not even a forced play, it's like a nice smooth transition, right? We also have 2 copies of Raven Form, new card from Kaldheim. Exile target artifact or creature its controller creates a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying. Now this can go as low as only costing 1 mana, which means we can essentially use 1 mana to get rid of an opponent's big creature, get rid of an opponent's Embercleave, get rid of an opponent's Great Hinge. This card is really kind of busto when you think about the cards that it's interacting with within the meta. We also have 3 copies of Solid Cummings for some additional counter magic, 2 copies of Poisoned Cup for additional destruction as well as the additional scryage, 2 copies of Extinction Event for some massive board wiping control, and 1 copy of Shadow's Verdict because if you'll notice, we don't have any 3 CMC creatures or less, so this isn't going to touch us at all, which means if we come into a Lourdes deck, bye-bye Lourdes, bye-bye all you rogues. If we come into a mono red deck, bye-bye Annex and everything lower, right? This card hits so many decks in the meta right now, it's not even funny. Even the Gruul decks, right? Love Struck Beast, Mammoth, the Giant, the Innkeeper, it's like half of its deck is 3 CMC or less, am I right? Shadow's Verdict, super good board wipe right now, and especially in a deck where it doesn't hurt you at all. So, Elder Gargoth, of course, 6/6, Vigilance. Nice part, it has reach, which means those rogues aren't going to get in for free. You can gain life, create a creature, draw a card, also take them out. Feasting and Shark Typhoon, they pretty much revolve around being their own units. If you can't get a feasting down, no big deal. This isn't a food deck. We're not trying to build up 3 food and get feasting for free. If you cast it from your hand and you get the 3 free food, great. You can use it to gain life. They destroy your Feasting Troll King, sacrifice the food, bring it back. It's not a food deck. Don't focus on that, okay? Shark Typhoon, same thing. If you can get it down, cool. You have enough non-creatures to make it work. If not, just cycle it for a shark, okay? It's not the main focus of the deck, all right? It's control, get down Coma, let your serpents, let your control take over the board, take over the game. Anyways, all that being said and out of the way, I hope you all enjoyed this deck. This is definitely a fun one to play, and if you're looking to climb in rank, it will certainly get you there. It has a lot of massive board wipes, so it can get through the aggro. It has a lot of big creatures, so it can punch through the other big mid-rangey decks, right? Anyways, thanks again. Hope you all enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and of course, remember to subscribe for more one-of-a-kind content. Blah, 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 blah. Forgot what I was saying there. Subscribe, all that great stuff. I'll see y'all in the matches. Any Hooser, what's it's going up against JFDA for our first foe, and you know, solid hand. We have the Midnight Clock, we have the Saw It coming. I think I will go ahead and drop the Fabled Passage turn 1, grab some black mana, and that way turn 2 we can foretell this. Turn 3, drop Midnight, and blah 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 blah. Right? So yeah, let's go ahead and drop the Fabled and pass it back to their turn. Now y'all are gonna have to let me know if any of the lighting or audio is off, as we are still trying to sort of upgrade the setup, so to speak. Next thing that we're actually buying for the setup and upgrading is going to be the camera that, well, you see me with. It's if some of you haven't noticed, it's kind of not the best in the world. It's okay, and you can see me and hi, how you doing? But you know, better is not worse. I feel like that's an obvious statement, but sorcery speed, 2 to foretell it. We can either get down Midnight Clock or try to get down Midnight Clock and then just have 1 mana left over, or we can just save our mana for Saw It Coming. Or we can foretell Raven Form, get down Triumph. I think we get down Triumph for sure. And I think we leave mana for, well, no, let's go ahead and foretell Saw It, or Raven Form, sorry. And then next turn, from then on, we'll have mana for Saw It Coming, and we'll get down the Midnight Clock, and that's fine. The opponent's playing rogues, no biggie, no biggie. We got a Shadow's Verdict, so it's kind of what it's in here for, right? All these little small creatures basically just saying, get out of here, you clowns. Now, we are going to have to wait until we actually have enough to drop it, right? So I can go for Midnight Clock here, but I won't have any counter magic on the back end. They have 3, which means they can probably counter it if I do. So if we exile the Soaring Thought Thief, they're left with a 1/1 bird, and then we can have Saw It Coming mana still. I could drop a Binding of the Old Gods. They actually can't counter that quite yet. So yeah, let's just drop this because it's out of the Drown and Lock. They could still counter it. I'm not saying they don't have counter magic that's, you know, just regular counter magic, but let's get rid of the Soaring. There we go. And then we'll get a land out next turn. So this still kind of helps us ramp. It's not necessarily Midnight Clock, but that's all right. Does work nonetheless. Merfolk Windrobber to join the other. In Search of Greatness, that's fun. I didn't want that card anyways. So, oh man, we're just drawing so many basics here in our regular hand that it's sort of hurting the bindings here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana to play with. I could go for the Midnight Clock and still have mana in case I want to try and counter it, which I feel like I should do this. Try and get ahead on mana, and then we can just use like our mana advantage to take them out. So I don't think we should Raven Form anything here. I think we just save our mana. If it does come time to use Saw It Coming, we're going to use the one straight out of our hand. That way we can save our mana efficiency of the 2 mana one, right? So let's see, they go ahead and get the swing ins, that's fine. You know the only bad thing about Binding of the Old Gods, or Binding the Old Gods, whatever the hell it's called, that last clause, that last step in the lore counters or whatever, is horrible. It does nothing for me. Right yet, at least, you know. Alright, so we need some additional blue mana, I'd say, so let's go ahead and throw that down for blue. Now we can Shadow's Verdict. I think it's a little early. I think we can get some more creatures if we just wait a little while. Maybe I just use another Binding. I don't really want to just take out a Merfolk Windrobber with it, but at the same time, I don't want to let these continue. I don't want to use Raven Form because then they get a 1/1 right back. I could just save mana for their turn and use, you know, our counter magic available, but I mean, if I can ramp, why not? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we still have that. All right, looks good. And we literally cut their damage in half, right? 2 to 1. Gotta counter that. Just trying to figure out in which way I wanted to do it, but definitely should use the 3 mana instead of the 2 mana, so on our following turn. Anyways, let's hope they don't have another. If they do, they can surely cast it now, and probably will. Although maybe they have a little fear that we have Mystical. Either way, it goes down. Forest, come on out. Let's get down the In Search of Greatness. If nothing else, it's a Scry engine. We still have the Saw It Coming mana. We still have the Shadow's Verdict. So that should be fun. If we can draw into another Feasting Troll King, we can get that one out. Let's see, do we have... Oh no, that is the one. Alright. That's fine. Our Midnight Clock's at 5, which means it will reset, not soon, but soon-ish, right? It's going to be at 6 in their turn, 7 back to our turn, which means it just needs 5 after that. Let's see. No thank you on the land. And the Scry engine's already paying off. So they do have 4 mana, which means they could potentially have 2 counter magic spells, which would be horrible. But I still think we got to go for the Shark Typhoon, or we just cycle it and go for a really big shark. Actually, I think cycling it and going for big shark is better. Right? Yeah, it's got to be better. It's just a more assured play. They're going to sacrifice their Windrobber. They are really looking for some cards here. Alright, back to their turn. Maybe they're looking for lands, right? Because they only have 4, which means they can't cast an Into the Story plus counter magic ever. They need 2 additional lands in order to do that. So there's 1. And right back to our turn. So biggest Shark Typhoon of your life, or save 2 mana for Saw It Coming. I think save 2 mana for Saw It Coming. So let's see. That's going to take 1, 2, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, and then we'll still have 2 left over. In case they want to try and cast removal, we can counter that removal. Because we don't want to cast a shark down and then just immediately lose it, right? Poison thy cup. Titan's Nest. Titan's Nest is really good if we're trying to get to a coma in hand, like we have one. Oh, I was about to say, what just happened? Opponent's conceding and we're picking up a victory. Happy to see it. Goldovzi? 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 Goldovzi. I don't like my accent when I do that. I'm not proud of it, okay? Sorry. Keep. We have the Titan's Test. The Titan's Nest. Hopefully to help us get up to maybe Feasting, Troll King, that kind of stuff. Ooh, and a Midnight Clock to help us ramp. Shark Typhoon, I'd rather see some land. I know we have artificial land, sort of, but the Titan's Nest requires us to get some stuff in Graveyard, Fableds, that kind of stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and foretell this little card. They have Path to the World Tree. What? What is she trying to do here? Is it going to be Shrines? It's Yorion, that's for sure. Bont Yorion? I can't help but think it's Shrines. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Should I foretell this or get down Midnight Clock? I think we should go ahead and rush into the Midnight Clock, get the ramp down. What are you going to do? Artifact or creature. Oh, no, you're not exiling my artifact for a creature. You're crazy. That is nice to know, though. In emergency situations, opponent only has one life and they're all tapped out and you have a Midnight Clock on the board and you have a Raven form. You got them. Exile your Midnight Clock and take them down. Make sure you do it on your turn to make sure they don't have anything to untap with, you know, counter magic or such. Or the such. So this will put us to 5, which means we can actually get a Vivian down, but the Vivian is just going to create chum food for the Archon, right? So we have single black, double green, double blue. Well, we will need more green for the feasting. For the feasting. So I'll go Vivian +1 up and just keep doing that until we can hit -2 for the troll. But we lose our ability to counter. Could also go for a Midnight Clock and counter that way. Like if they have an ECD or something, right? I think I just talked myself into that because I was like, oh man, if they just ECD my I could Raven form the Archon here and pull Saw It Coming Over. Actually, I like that better. The worst thing that happens now with an ECD is the fact that they take a Midnight Clock, but even still, like, okay, whatever. But before, if they were going to create a 2/2 Pegasus, and they have an ever-growing army, right? And if I put down Vivian and they have an ECD, then that's just horrific. So then they just get to take my thing, create a 2/2, attack in with Archon, and it's like all for the freeski. So this way we got counter magic, we got rid of the Archon. Sure, they got birds that can do stuff, but we got stuff that can do stuff to the birds. Sounds kind of wrong, but now we can also play Vivian and have counter magic available, which is nice. Nice! Alright, 3/3 with reach, and then counters on the Midnights. Oh man, the thing with having 2 Midnights, the thing with committing yourself to 2 Midnights so closely together is one's going to proc, you're going to refresh your whole hand, and then the other's going to proc very there soon after, so... Banishing Light to get rid of the Vivian. Do we counter? Do we counter? Do we counter? I think so. I think Vivian's pretty important, and if we can untap and hit that Feasting Troll King on the -2, we can pull a Gargaroth, right? Which sounds like a pretty rad deal. I almost hit no blocks there because the game just wanted to not work. That's all right. So they get to look at my hand. Yep, you see it in all of its glory. Pull your Yorion over? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You pull that Yorion. We could also hardcast a Shark Typhoon. But what's better? Feasting plus Gargaroth or hardcast Shark Typhoon? I think that's pretty obvious. This Gargaroth gives us defense against Yorion. The Feasting Troll gives us a lot of life, which is whatever. But now we can attack with the 3/3. Counters, counters, counters. We do need to get the Titan's Nest down, but it was mainly aimed for when you hit that, like, coma early. But we have 3 comas in the deck, and we haven't seen a single one. What's up, Myzen? Hope you're having a nice day. How you enjoying the set so far, my friend? You've been talking a lot about those shape-shifting Simic decks. So which one do you take here? The Gargaroth? The Vivian? Probably the Gargaroth. I would take the Gargaroth. That feels like a joke, right? Yeah, sure, Feasting can come back, but like Gargaroth is such a big threat. Alright, well let's push 2 attackers and let's attack. Do I draw a card here to create a 3/3? I think we draw a card. Feasting? Oh, and there's a Coma off the top. How much mana do we have? Do we have enough? I guess I won't know until after that. Now they have... Okay. Spell can't be countered and it gains indestructibility, but it won't be protected from the Elspeth. They're gonna use Yorion, Snorrion, Yorion for sure. So what do we do here then? I don't want to cycle this. I think I just play this down as land. Do I drop the Titan's Nest? I think I drop Titan's Nest. Give them more things that they might potentially want to counter. And then we'll +1 up on you and create another Reacher. And yeah, back to them. Do we cycle Shark Typhoon? How big of a shark can we get? 1, 2, 3. 1/1. So probably not. I mean, we could also exile cards, but we can't. Wait, this can't pay for with X, right? So it couldn't actually pay for the cycling. Which makes sense, right? ECD is going to make it a little difficult on the Shark Typhoon, but Feasting and all that still fine. Yorion, I mean, yeah, we saw it coming. Love the news set overall. That's good. Sorry, I have a bad habit of reading the last message first and then reading backwards, which is, like I said, horrible. Back from vacation. My word, was it a mess. Oh, man, I'm sorry. It's always bad when you have a vacation, but then you come back from vacation and you're like, that was not the vacation I needed. Having trouble with the Shapeshifter deck just doesn't seem right. Oh, yeah. I mean, Shapeshifters feel a little clunky. I feel like they're best as an add-in, but don't worry. I'm gonna try that Shapeshifters deck myself. We'll see what we can come up with. Yeah, they do feel a little... It's just because, like, the 2 mana Shapeshifters are... One of them's okay. The other one's, like, okay for budget. Library. What are you talking about? That's a Coma. It's a Toyota Tacoma. So I -3 or -2 on Viv again? I think so. Coma! Gargaroth blocks the Yorion. Oh man, that was a cool animation. I love that. So we have to hope that they can't bounce the Yorion again or the ECD again, right? But if not, that Midnight Clock is going to proc come our turn, which means we're going to get a full reset on our hand, which means we should have more counter magic, right? Because all these will go back. Doomscar. Doomscar. Alright, well that's fine. This is why we have Coma. Can't do nothing to my snake. And the snake keeps creating 3/3s. This is so beautiful. I love Coma so much. Alright, refresh. Give me some counter magic. Saw it coming. Heck yeah. Now it's very expensive. Do I library or graveyard that? I guess just library is fine, right? It's a creature. It's a body. Let the bodies hit the floor. So Fabled can come down, I think. Man, now we're stuck with only non-creatures in hand. This is horrific. We have all that. I want to actually get some more blue mana, because after we lose that Midnight Clock, we're going to be hurting a little bit. So you go ahead and create the Reach. Coma, you go ahead and attack. Boom! Foretell this. Cast it on their turn. If I foretell this, can I cast that? Well, this is going to go away come their turn, right? So that's fine. Which means that'll do that, and I can foretell with that, and then still have that. Okay. Alright, so let's just do that. That, I think. And then, yeah. Foretell that. And in turn. Alright, so another Serpent comes down. Midnight Clock on our turn will refresh our hand, which is fine. We could have went for the Shark Typhoon, but since we already have a Coma down, there's nothing for Enigmatic to really, like... There's nothing bigger, you know what I mean? So we resolve this. They will bounce the ECD. Now, I guess we could try to get down. Well, no. All right, so all this is getting reset for sure. We're not going to have access to this. Cetessin. Cetacion. I think I just countered that straight up because I want to poison the cup on the Yorion. Whatever else they have here to play, it can't be an ECD, so I'm guessing it's a small, maybe Banishing Light. So good. I am so good. Banishing Light for the coma? For the coma. To put it into a coma. But we have lethal here, right? They spent all their mana. They only have a Yorion to defend. They have 7 life and 2 mana. You never know. But we are going to destroy Yorion here. We don't need that Extinction Event. We don't need that Titan's Nest. Scry those both away. And it's a Fabled that we're drawn into. That's not a big deal. It's just going to give them some basic lands. Is this Mythic Climbing? This is Mythic Climbing. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So sorry. Not that. Hey, and we picked up another victory. Headfix MF. I don't know what that's a reference to. This is fun. You know what? You know why Enigmatic is so good with Binding of the Old Gods? Because you get the second step out, and then you just sacrifice it at the end step, right? So we're definitely going for this play here. Temple of Milady. Come, Milady. Come, Milady. You're my something sugar ride. More lands. We're going to get lands from Binding, so I don't think I actually want that, right? The only thing I'm really... Well, I guess next turn we just play basic, and then we can play Triumph on turn 3, because we actually don't have a turn 3 play, right? Ooh. This is difficult. I think... Oh, well, we have blue mana here. I forget about the new pathways, not going to lie. That's really nice. So let's let them know that we're thinking. I think I want this down as blue mana. Go ahead and foretell Saw It Coming. I think Saw It Coming's a little bit better than Raven Form, depending on who you're up against, right? If it's a mono red aggro deck and they just you can tell that an Annex or a Torbrand's coming, get that Raven Form over there. But otherwise, I think Saw It Coming is better. It looks like we're playing a mono green. I don't want to say mono green food, but it looks kind of like mono green food. It's just they have that card Foretold, so generally you don't see Castle Garenbrig unless it's mono green, so we can pretty rest assured on that. Xandu. Okay, I mean, everything is normal thus far. So I could foretell Raven Form over and then immediately exile Xandu. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So tap, tap, foretell. Wait! Oh, right, for a later turn. I always forget that fact. Foretell, ladies and gentlemen, can't use it on the same turn, which makes sense. It would be kind of busto if you could. Should have just used it. Wait a minute, Chance. You fool. New cards always get me so confused. That's alright. So we let them have a pretty big thing there. Not gonna lie, I'm not too happy about it, but we have the binding of the Old God, so we're just gonna Ripperino one of those, take it out real quick. Boop. That. Sorry about your luck, pal, but we can't have that happen. Next turn, I want to drop Elder Gargaroth, I do, but I also want to drop the Enigmatic so we can sacrifice this before it gets away from us. But having the Elder... yeah, you... 2 Great Hands in hand, huh? No problemo. No problemo. Alright. Unfortunately, we only have tap lands in our hand as well. I want to get down Enigmatic. Well, at the beginning of your end step, so we could go ahead and sacrifice this and get a creature out, right? Let's do that. If this will allow us to pull a creature out of our deck, then I'll feel like a complete 10,000 IQ genius, and so that'll be alright. We don't want to scry. If we're going to be pulling something out of our deck, it's just going to shuffle our deck anyways, right? So we should wait on that scry until we know that we can draw the card that we're going to be scrying. AKA, we have Gargaroth down if possible, right? Alright, so sacrifice that. And hey, it worked! Now we're not going to be able to pull this Gargaroth out with this binding because, well, it's in our hand already. So it's only going to be a one-time trick this game, but that is a nice little factor with Enigmatic into Gargaroth. Troll Trump, so it is mono green food. I wonder what card they have foretold. What card in green can foretell? Are they just gonna eat the food? Eat the food. That's fun. I mean, it's not fun. It doesn't feel good, don't get me wrong, but we can exile the Wicked Wolf, so happy that I didn't exile the Mammoth, actually. Mammoth is scary, but Wolf is ever-growing, indestructible, and Mammoth kind of requires them to hit a land to be good. Now, while it can hit a Fabled and be really good, they're playing mono green, so the chances of a Fabled are extremely slim. We are getting a little low on health, which of course I'm not happy about, but whatever. Can't win them all, I suppose. But we're going to try and win this one. Don't get me wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 mana, which means we can use Raven Form Binding, potentially. We're down to 5 life, so that's the scary thing, is like, we can get rid of Wolf, we can get rid of Kazandu, but then we're leaving them with the Hinge, which I don't love, but honestly, I think it's just what we got to do. What we got to do. Midnight Clock, that's not really going to help us. Plus, whatever we see here is probably going to get shuffled. So, drop this, and then Raven Form, I think. Binding, and then as much as I want to take out the Great Hinge, we can't rely on them not hitting land, so we have to take that out, and then, yeah, just exile. They will get a 1/1 back, but it's a token, so they won't get the card draw nor the +1/+1 counter. Do I want to sacrifice? No, because it at least draws us out a card, and we know we can't pull this Gargaroth. Now, I could have gotten this Gargaroth down this turn, but they would have still had the creatures and all that, right? So, we'll just hope they don't have a Vorinclex. Oh, thank goodness. I said it, and I was like, oh, no, wait, Chance, they definitely have Vorinclex. You're not that lucky. Battle Mammoth, all right. No Vorinclex, though. Hallelujah. If we could find, I don't know what we would need here. That's odd. It's even. Maybe a extinction event? Another Midnight Clock. That's not good. So if we get you down, you can block the 7/6 and 1 damage goes through. We can also gain 3 life. We can live. Oh, but that's it. But we do still have that. All right. Well, we'll get you down. We will scry and Search of Greatness. Well, we're going to need something a little bit greater than that. Sacrificing this won't do anything for us because we already have the Gargaroth, so we'll just decline. We also have the Saw It Coming. So if they do have a Vorinclex, I might get it. I think they just hit a land, though. Feasting Troll King. Well, equally as well. Can't let that happen. That's going to put them on a little bit of a drawing spree. So get that out of here. They can still sacrifice the food. Look for permanents. Or try and gain enough food to get the Feasting Troll King down, you know. But honestly, like, I'm at 4 life. Yeah, at a certain point, you just got to swing in with the goose. You know what I mean? Because I have to block Battle Mammoth with Gargaroth, because it's not like Gargaroth has life gain. Of course, they might be expecting me to have removal, right? But I already spent my mana, so no, I couldn't have removal. I don't know what their plan here is. Witch's Oven coming down for him. Probably going to sacrifice Battle Mammoth when it goes to attack. So we block here. And we have to gain the 3 life. If we don't, we will lose. So they're not going to sacrifice the Battle Mammoth because, I mean, it takes out Gargaroth. That makes sense. Certainly. Oh, certainly. We get our own Feasting Troll King. Is that enough? So if I drop you, I am going to gain the 3 food, which we can sacrifice for non-life, which, you know, is something. They are going to get a Feasting Troll King back soon as well. They can't kill us in disguise, right? Like, they just have 2 points of damage, so we can block you and Oh, goodness. Let's do it. Let's see if we can get Midnight Clock down, and then if we can build it up quick enough. It costs, what, 3 mana? We have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So we'd be able to proc it 3 times. Gets 1 on their turns. That's 1 on our turn. 2. We can proc it 3 times. That's to 5. Then we'd be out of mana, though, and be out of stuff to do. All right. I gotta say, we're holding on, though. You gotta hold on to a prayer and to your cards. Luckily, we did hit a lot of those, or 2 of those bindings at least, so we drew out those lands, right? I have faith. I have nothing but good faith. Tangled? All right, that's fine. Just gonna draw him a card. Again, no Vorinclex equals happy chance. Oh. But if they hit a Vorinclex, I won't feel bad about us having played the Midnight Clock, because it's not like that will have mattered, right? The food, the 3 life won't have mattered. So far, so good. And they just hit a land. All right, so they should swing in with the Goose here, unless they want to create a food and then sacrifice a creature with the Witch's Oven and bring back Feasting, which, not a bad idea, right? 2 mana food, 1 on... But why, though? Like, 2 mana on the food. I mean, I guess this makes it to where they don't have to spend any mana, but you can't get Vorinclex down already because you're at 5 mana, so... I don't know. Tons of Trail of Crumbs procs, though, so that'll be good for him. We're going to go for... I don't know. I mean, Shadow's Verdict gets rid of their board state and all that kind of stuff. So that's fine and dandy, but they just got a full restock. If we can get a full restock with Midnight Clock, like if we can kind of stall till then, sure. But they have so many creatures. Our card that we draw here is going to be super crucial. If it is Shadow's Verdict, we got a chance. If it's not... Castle. Alright, well, we can gain 9 life, put us to 10. Do I still have a Shadow's Verdict in the deck? I do, okay. Oh, man. Gain 9 life, put us to 10. We can block the Feasting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, we gotta go for it. Can we swing in here? No? I think actually we could, but... Alright. Midnight Clock's going to be at 4 on our turn. Still not close enough to where we can just rip the counters on it and then have a full restock and have other stuff, you know? Like, we have a lot of mana, but not that much. If we had a Jorn and all this was snow, and maybe. Maybe. Speaking of which, if you play Jorn in a snow deck, you should probably have Midnight Clock. I just now thought about that, but that's so good. They're going all in. We gotta eat the food now. It's now or never. Is that enough? I don't know. We're gonna eat all the food. Just eat it all and we'll be alright. Could have added 2 counters to the Midnight Clock, but... Yeah, look, we needed that 3 life. See, I was right. I just didn't want to do the math. I know, that is very lazy of me, but, I mean, come on. Alright, so we can resolve all... You know what? Let's just go ahead and put the counter on this. They know we don't have anything in hand, and that's the only thing that's going to stop them from taking their turn or require us to hit resolve, so let's just resolve it. Alright, so Midnight Clock will be at 5 on our turn. Oh, that's GG. Good game. I'm actually out of place. Alright. Head fix, you got us. Yeah, we're trying to climb to Mythic with this Kolma deck. This special custom brewski. This is very expensive. We did go first, and we do have the Raven form, but aside from that, we have Shark Typhoon that we can cycle. But if they're aggro... We have such a good lay of the lands. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. Just get the Vantress down ASAP, and then we'll play this for black mana, so we'll have access to all colors across the board. Kolma, Oh, man. It's a snow deck. Well. Mono white snow? Daxos? What's going on here? Oh, man, we need some green mana. Need some green mana. That's fun. So we could cycle Shark Typhoon for 1 here, or we can go ahead and exile the Daxos. Daxos is going to allow them to gain life and immediately attack in on us. This is also going to cost us our ability to cycle the Shark Typhoon, though. I think they're going to have worse stuff in the future, so I'm just going to go for this Shark Typhoon cycle. I'm not going to chum block either, because I 2 damage. Psh, kidding me? So we let this happen. I just feel like they got something spicier than a Daxos, you know? Heliod? Sure. They think it's counter magic, but no. It is a creature. Poison the cup? Oh, that's so good. So we can either get down Insert Greatness or we can have additional blue mana. I said it. I heard it. Shut up. So do we want to foretell Poison the Cup over and prepare ourselves for next turn where we could use Raven Form and Poison the Cup to potentially take out 2 of their cards? Or just use Raven Form here to take out their Daxos. Daxos is going to gain them life, so Heliod's going to put a counter on whatever enters next. I think we go ahead and use Raven Form here. Well, maybe we should have done it first so they could chum block with the 1/1 and we could trade out. I don't know. Loaders, I want to find some black mana. I want to get that Shadow's Verdict ASAP. Hey, that's a great scry thing. That's a great card to keep. Let's make sure we attack first. You never know when that one... We could also just poison the Loaders, you know? Not use Shadow's Verdict quite yet. Like, wait for them to turn something else online. Get down Vivian. Yeah, I like that a lot better, actually. Let's wait. Let's wait till they have a little bit more to give. So we're definitely pulling a land on the next turn. We have double green for the Coma, which means this is probably coming down as blue. That's fine. We need blue mana anyways. Angel of Destiny. Oh, snap. So we block this. Because you're getting exiled no matter what. So I think we blocked the high amounts of damage. All right. Yes, put all of your counters on your smaller creatures. It's kind of shitty that they did put one on Angel of Destiny, but that's all right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're still 1 away from Coma. Do this. They're at 27, which means they deal 6. They'll be at 33. They need 35. All right, let's keep this. Another land. I think that land there gives us Coma next turn, so we do this, exile everything. Goodbye. And reach. Thanks. See, this is why you wait on the Shadow's Verdict. I told you they had more spicy stuff inbound, and because of that, we managed to get the no, you definitely blocked. We managed to get the Heliod, so. Alright, Forest. Yes, no, woo. So do I want to poison the cup or do I want to use the Coma this turn? Because if I use the Coma, I can -2 on the Vivian and also grab out Gargaroth, right? But Gargaroth can't take out Angel. So if I just use poison, create a 3/3. What do I foretell this and then do that? Binding? Binding's alright because it does get rid of the lotus. Alright, sure. Been playing mobile a little. Seems a bit buggy. Think my phone is too small because it's tough to read even when you enlarge the card. Well, better than me. My my phone can't play the mobile arena. I went looking for it and it was like, no, your device isn't compatible, which means that my phone is so shitty. So even though we're about to grab this Gargaroth already, should I just play the Gargaroth? No, we came to see some comas, ladies and gentlemen. I was gonna say we came to put some people in a coma, but like that sounds aggressive. You know what I mean? Like a little too aggressive for my style, personally. Stick to PC? Yeah, I mean, I just want the mobile because I have a lot of, yeah, coma climbing, coma climbing.